Hello and welcome to another one of my videos. Now, for those who are seeing this, this is not a tier list. I am not ranking his appearances and design. I am actually going to be ranking him personality-wise and character-wise and explaining why, what attributes stand out about his personality and character in each of this game, and if it's in line with the original or any such thing. So let's start off with his first appearance. Let's start off with Midway Shao Kahn. Now I'm ranking all three of his designs from Midway into this one tier list. I didn't want to show anyone's favorite design disrespect by ranking only my favorite design up there. So if you like MK2 or Deadly Alliance more, this is the designs for you. First of all, when talking about Midway Shao Kahn, he is the original Shao Kahn, the golden Shao Kahn, the one everyone remembers, even if they pretend, oh, that NRS has a better interpretation of Shao Kahn. It doesn't, but we'll get into that. First of all, what stands out about Shao Kahn? The fact that this is his original appearance, the fact that he was such an iconic villain, the fact that he has the archetype of the big, brute kind of villain, but then you discover that he is not a brute. He is a cunning, tactical genius who always plans ahead. This is one of the main things that made Shao Kahn the character he is. He is cunning. He is intelligent. He is a force to be reckoned with. You do not want to face Shao Kahn. You do not want to stand against Shao Kahn because he will not only destroy you, but he will make everything around you suffer. When talking about his cunning, one of the first acts of his cunning nature is the fact that he always took advantage of any hand he was played. He always took advantage of any success, any opportunity for success. Like Shang Tsung's second tournament, he came up with the second tournament out of hand, like he was about to be executed by Shao Kahn, and he came up with the second tournament, and Shao Kahn agreed to it. His plan, he had his backup plan, of course, his 10,000-year plan that he could have used at this time. He was tired of the sorcerer's constant failures. His also opinion on sorcerers is another thing to discuss, because he, in a way, views them as more so serpents. In his words, sorcerers are mere serpents. They serve their masters willingly until their aspirations outgrow their masters. They seek power for themselves. Always step over and betray everyone around them. Many have attempted to usurp my throne. Many have come before, and many will come, and some may come after. Sorcerers are always defined by treachery. He views Shang Tsung more as a pawn, a means to an end. He does not trust him. He never has trusted him. He also probably doesn't like him too. But his crafty characterization also goes into Katana. He kept the truth hidden for her for 10,000 years. She did not find out that he is not her true father until she discovered it, and Melina attempted to assassinate her. Also harboring back, anytime Katana has discovered the truth about Shao Kahn's manipulation and the fact she is not his true father, he wipes her mind. He had use for her. He wanted her as a daughter. He's not pure evil like everyone thinks he is. Well, he certainly is evil. But pure evil is a very boring character type. He wants to be loved, and Outworld citizens do love him. But he wants someone more personal to love him and view him as a father figure, or view him as a husband, like Sindel, but she never loved him. Also, it probably doesn't help that he killed her husband right in front of her, but he's still the villain. He's still very much the main villain and still the one to fear, so you gotta respect the way he is a fearsome opponent who never underestimates his enemies. Like Onaga, he knew as the protector of Outworld, and the fact that Outworld was now conquered and unified over Onaga's rule, that in his weakened state, and the fact that his power as a god of war was starting to diminish, that he could not defeat Onaga in a straight fight. So what he do? He slowly poisoned him until Onaga was weakened enough where he could take him on in a fair fight. This is his characterization at its peak. He always estimates his enemies correctly. He always plans ahead. And deception is another example of his planning ahead, because Shang Tsung and Quan Chi did not assassinate him, they assassinated a clone. He knew his death was coming. He knew in his weakened state after MK3 that someone would come and try to take his throne from him, so he planned accordingly. It was really smart and really tactical. He even recruited Goro back to his side. When Goro was severely wounded by Noob Saibot, he came to Goro and he promised him to live. He promised him that he would let him live as long as he serves him. Goro doesn't defect because he has no honor. He defected because Shao Kahn saved his life. Even though he's a man of honor, even though he would view it as an honorable battle which he lost, he defected because Shao Kahn still saved his life. Shao Kahn didn't have to save his life, but this is the kind of characterization he has. He always plans ahead. He saw an opportunity to sway a powerful ally in the form of Goro back to his side, and he took it. This is Shao Kahn at his greatest. Speaking of Shao Kahn at his greatest, we have to talk about Mortal Kombat 3. After losing the Mortal Kombat 2 tournament, what did Shao Kahn do? He invaded. He had the 10,000-year plan waiting. After Sindel took her life, he did not let her soul go to the afterlife. He decided to hold on to it until he needed it. He discovered a loophole in the rules. By resurrecting your former wife, by resurrecting your wife in a different realm, you can travel to it. But by resurrecting your former wife, you can travel to a realm and you can take it for yourself. That's the kind of reverence this character has always had. And it's a real shame that they dumbed down his characterization in later games. Also his victory over Armageddon. While Onaga was too busy thinking selfishly, Shao Kahn understood the point, that only together one of them had the chance at winning the prize. He knew that the forces of light, if they didn't work together, would be able to defeat them. He knew that they would be more coordinated. That's why he allowed such things. He also tricked Raiden into believing that he would spare Earthrealm. Now, this is stupid on Raiden's part, but still, this is in line with Shao Kahn's characterization. Him winning Armageddon is also in line with his characterization. He overall has the cunning and tactical intelligence that is pure genius. Very few villains are as crafty and tactical as Shao Kahn is. Moving on from his cunning and intelligence, because he has a lot of that in Midway. Midway really built him up as a very cunning and intelligent individual, and I love that they did so. Moving on, we have to talk about his strength as a character. Shao Kahn was strong. Only the best of the best could ever defeat him in combat. And only Liu Kang ever did so. Raiden is not on Shao Kahn's level. I know people think he is, but he is nowhere near it. Shinnok was even afraid of him. The fact that Shinnok was afraid of him, the fact that Raiden couldn't take him on in a fight, all of this leads up to Shao Kahn, Midway Shao Kahn, being the best of the best versions of Shao Kahn. This is his character at his prime, and I wish they brought it back. Moving on from the greatness of Midway, we have Shao and Monks. This version of Shao Kahn is the smartest in Shao and Monks. He's the smartest character in Shao and Monks. He doesn't have much screen time, but this introduced his more character aspect of him playing to the crowd, that the crowd actually loves him, that they are entertained by him. He likes to entertain the crowd, and he actually listens to them. His characterization is overall pretty good. I like his lines of dialogue. I like some of his moves, including his famous spinning emperor. I'm not exactly sure what it's called, but that's what it looks like. Overall, it's a pretty good depiction of Shao Kahn. It's not as perfect as Midway, but it's close enough. Since Shao and Monks literally has two of the dumbest characters in that game. Like Liu Kang literally asking someone who's been Liu Kang and Kung Lao literally asking someone who's been stabbed twice and thrown and just laying there down on the ground, "Are you okay?" No, he's dead. It's ridiculous. Okay, so next on the list is MK vs. DC. We gotta talk about MK vs. DC for a minute. First off, he has very small screen time, but him escaping the fandom zone immediately adds to his characterization. He doesn't do much in this game, but he's still a step up from, well, we'll get to him. There's gonna be a lot of talking points on MK11. Don't you worry. His depiction in this game is pretty good overall. I mean, he's literally compared to Darkseid in this game, which Midway Shao Kahn definitely would be, so not really much to say about him. He doesn't really have much screen time. Moving on, MK9. He has more screen time than Shao and Monks and DC combined. There are flaws in his characterization, though. Well, I guess I should move these guys down a little more. Guess I can move him down a little more too, actually. They shouldn't be an S tier. They shouldn't be an A tier. They belong in Field of Wrath of... Oh, typo. Field. I make mistakes. I'm only human after all. And this game is pretty good with his depiction for the most part. Now, there are a couple decisions I don't like. I don't like that he has a couple moments of being a whiny character. Never expect that from Midway Shao Kahn. He was not a whiner. He was fierce. Also, step back to Midway Shao Kahn for a sec. I gotta talk about the fact that him as a character, all his abilities as a character. I gotta talk about him as a character. No, not him as a character. His moveset. His moveset is overall pretty iconic. The fact that the Midway introduced all of his famous moves, and, well, any other game has not introduced anything better than it so far. We have famous moves like the Emperor's Shield, his projectile yo-yo, which I really like. I really wish they brought it back, other than Armageddon. I do really like Armageddon. And the reason I play that game and Deception so much, and also Trilogy too, is because I enjoy Midway Shao Kahn the most. He is my favorite version, he is the best version, and he deserves the respect that, well, the fandom gives him, but the executives pretend to forget what Midway Shao Kahn truly was. First of all, shoulder charge, the hammer strikes, all his abilities. Shao Kahn really felt like a boss. He really felt like the character, the peak of his characterization, and it's sad to see. I will be doing a video on how to bring his characterization back to its peak, because it is really not hard to do. It is not hard to write good villains. Good and compelling villains. Also, let's not forget Shao Kahn, his taunts. I can't move on from Midway Shao Kahn without talking about how taunty he was. In the death battle between him and Bison, he literally lets it seem like he's getting mind controlled just so he can break out of it and punch him in the face in the funniest way possible. It's like, this is the kind of character he was. He taunts you. Your best attempts at trying to take him down does nothing to him, and he makes you regret doing any such thing. His taunts are really fun to watch. It's like when he's taunting his opponent, it's really something you want to see him do, because his taunts are just legendary. Like, he has some of the most iconic quotes, like, "I win, it's official, you suck." Actually, let me do it in the Shao Kahn voice. "I win, it's official, you suck. Bow to me, prepare to die, you will die, mortal. I rule this world, I win. Feel the wrath of Shao Kahn, feel the power of Shao Kahn. I am Shao Kahn. Don't make me laugh." It's official. You suck. You suck. There's so many good quotes he has. And it stems from Midway. Midway started his taunts. No other villain is as taunty as he is. No, he's a dick for a reason, and it's one of the best parts and most interesting parts of his characterization. I'm not going to be talking about Midway yet, but I'm not going to be talking about MK11 yet. We're going to talk about Defenders of the Realm. Defenders of the Realm very much felt like Shao Kahn as close enough to Midway's depiction as you can get. Unfortunately, it was a cartoon after all, so you had to downgrade a little bit. You couldn't make him as perfect as you want to. But he was tactical and intelligent. He was scheming and cunning. The only problem is the episodic nature of television makes it so that he cannot win. Which is a hard part when it comes to characterization, because that's how you weaken your villains. Episodic television, which has victories be small in line. But I do like how a more modern approach has given less L's to villains. Like, you can really do a lot with a more modern approach, make it so that the villains don't lose. He doesn't really fight that much in this show, and I haven't really seen much of the show, but what I have seen from the show proves that he is a tactical, intelligent genius who is pretty close to Midway's characterization. So that's where he gets the pass on that for. Moving on, we have MK95. And obviously he's way better than Annihilation by far. He only has a couple lines of dialogue, but the way they speak about him, the way he's presented, just like the way he's presented in Midway, he is intimidating. He is to be feared. They straight up call him just the Emperor. Just calling him the Emperor just adds so much to his characterization. It makes you fear him. It makes you understand why he is such a fearsome opponent. And that one time he is on screen, it is so good. His little dialogue. "You weak, pathetic fools. I come for your souls." It's very much something you would see Midway Shao Kahn saying. Moving on. We have... Well, actually, forget Annihilation for right now. I'm going to talk about Conquest. Conquest is very the tactical, intelligent Shao Kahn, and the fact that Season 1 really ends with him winning just adds to his intelligence. I love the fact that he taunts Raiden with the former possessions of those he was fighting with. "Let's see what trinkets we have for you today. Ah, a queen. Dead. A champion. dead. A princess. 2 sorcerers, dead. A princess, dead. It's a little weird how he has kind of a thing for katana, but at the same time, it's okay. I mean, it's Shao Kahn after all. Like, the unhinged kind of do have a thing, do covet the thing they're not supposed to have. But I don't take that away from his characterization because he is as close as you can get to Midway in an episodic TV show that it's just too iconic not to have him in the top tier. He's just too good, and I hope MK2 Shao Kahn lives up to this version of him. Moving on, we have Legacy. Legacy, for one line, for one episode he's in, is more Shao Kahn than MK11 has ever been. Okay, I probably shouldn't. You know what? MK9 stays there. Never mind. I should bring up more why MK9 is in B tier instead of being in A tier. I will discuss that shortly. But he just overall feels like Shao Kahn, and he just feels like more so close enough to Midway Shao Kahn as one episode of him can get. So he does get some good predictions in this version of him. Now, moving on to one of the first and one of my favorite versions of the character. Yes, I'm putting him in S tier. Yes, he loses. Yes, he gets ran off of the villainess because of Shinnok. But his characterization, the fact that he plays dead after Katana throws a fan blade at him, and he's like, "Kill you? No! You'll stay alive, watching as I merge the realms. Then when you see all that you love destroyed, then I'll kill you." He really just feels like a villain. He really feels tactically genius. The fact that the MK2 tournament is actually his plan, I know you take away from Shang Tsung, but it just adds a feat to him. And it's just overall a lot better of a prediction than we had for a while. MK9 is good, but this one is better. First of all, his first scene, the fact that he shot in Sato, and instead of saying, "You failed me. 500 years I have waited. Now I must wait 500 more?" Instead he says, "You have failed me," as Shang Tsung vomits blood on the ground, and when he attempts to plead and attempts to make an excuse for his failure, he cuts him off and says, "Silence!" And seeing Shang Tsung just curl into himself, hearing that very violent word be sent towards him, just adds to his characterization. The fact that many characters died by his hand, the fact that he actually fights in this tournament, the fact that Jax literally throws a punch at him and he tanks it. Like, he just squeezes the hand slightly and he completely breaks the robotic arm and then just not one taps him. He's not perfect. He's of course not perfect. He's not Midway. But I like that he fights. I like his characterization more in this movie. Even though he gets written off as the villain, he still gets a fairly better depiction than he's gone in a long time. Yeah, MK9 does deserve to go up a little more, and so does Shao and Monks, I guess. Sorry, I'm adjusting the tier list a little more, but you gotta be a little respectful to the characterization. Okay, moving on. Who do we have left before I had to get on to MK, well, 11? Oh, let's talk more about MK9. First of all, the reason I'm not too critical of MK9's appearance is because Scarlet's ending, the fact that Shao Kahn literally created her to spy on Quan Chi, the fact that he actually has a fairly decent depiction of his intelligence. It's not shown the best in the story mode. They really need to focus more on him and making him more like Midway. I will be doing an MK9 fix and a NetherRealm fix in general to show how to actually make these characters the best they've ever been. And yeah, we'll get into that in time. Yeah, we'll get into it. It's just really stuff I want to do. I really want to make these character appearances more important. I really want them to be on Midway's level, because Midway was the best Shao Kahn, and he will remain to be the best Shao Kahn until someone creates a, until they, until, probably not gonna happen, of course, they're probably never gonna live up to it, but he's close enough here. He's pretty good in this game. I like that he's the end-all be-all villain. I like some of his dialogue, like many of his lines, like the line "toothless worms." I really like the Armageddon appearance, and I know it's Midway, but still, the MK9 voice is not bad. I think there are voices that are better, like Fred Tatashiora, who voices him in MK Legends. He literally sounds very brutal. Kill you? No! Or one of the best lines, come to me, boy, come to die. Or even one of his better lines, I hope you fare better than your champions, Raiden. He just really gives off the appearance that is very good of a characterization. Uh, Moving down, yeah, let's talk about Annihilation. He's a Shinnok boy. He kind of sucks. He does have a slightly tactical intelligence in somewhat, but he more so seems like a putz and a fool throughout the entire game, throughout the entire movie, so he doesn't really work well. MK11. Oh goodness. This is the worst one of them. This is the worst one to talk about. I really do not want to talk about him. First of all, there is so much wrong with him. He is an entire brute. He has very little personality and character. He just feels like a dumbass the entire time. He doesn't feel intimidating. He doesn't feel scary. Everyone disrespects him. No one would be talking to Midway the way they talk to Shao Kahn and MK11. It's very disappointing to see him, and his quotes are as brain dead as possible. It's like, it's just so bad. As a really big Shao Kahn fan, it just really is an insulting interpretation of his characterization. They went in the completely wrong direction. They went in the wrong direction, and it's really disturbing to see. It's like they ruined him in this game. Like, he lost to Katana. He let his soul get taken by Shang Tsung. He was a complete dumbass the entire time. He would be talking with such foolishness. Like, in his intro dialogues are all pretty bad too. It's like he barely has anything going for him. Like, some of his walking animations are pretty cool. The fact that he steps on skulls is pretty cool. The fact that he goes through a portal is pretty cool. The fact of all of that, it's the fact that his helmet weighs a lot more than it should, is pretty cool. But everything else just drags him down. This appearance of Shao Kahn is just terrible. It just boggles the mind what they were thinking when they decided to make him like this, when they decided to degrade his character. And also, don't get me started on the make Outworld great again line. Shao Kahn would not say, let's make Outworld great again. What he would say is he would go into a whole speech talking about how Kotal degraded Outworld, made it weaker, the fact that he will bring it back to its former glory, the fact that he is Outworld's one true emperor, the fact that he is the greatest emperor in Outworld's history, and the people would love it. They would love this interpretation. They would love this appearance. They would love him for saying all of that, and it just doesn't happen in 11. He just feels like a dumb brute the entire time. And it's like Kotal was never on his level. Kotal was never on his level. Like, it's just enough with the disrespect that he gets throughout this entire game. The fact that he's an enforcer of Chronica. It's like, no, this is not Shao Kahn. This is barely Shao Kahn anymore. He doesn't even feel like the same character. He really just demeans and degrades the character that I adore. As a big Shao Kahn fan, this interpretation was just blatantly insulting. Moving on, we have M1K. He suffers from some of the same problems, but at least he has more of a tactical genius than he did in MK11. He feels more strategic and intelligent in certain ways. I still don't like his whining, of course, just like I don't like 11's whining. And yeah, it's just the way his depiction goes. Moving on, we have Onslaught. Onslaught felt like a lot more smart of a Shao Kahn, even though it's basically the MK11 Shao Kahn. He fights with more intelligence, surprisingly, even though he wields a Wrath Hammer most of his appearance. The fact that he goes to confront Quan Chi and Shang Tsung is pretty interesting. It's like you would feel Shao Kahn would do many of the things he's predicted to do in this game, and he just feels a lot more intelligent and smart, and it just feels like a better step up from the MK11 design. The MK11 version. I also don't like the MK11's version's over-reliance on the Wrath Hammer. The Wrath Hammer was one of his tools. It wasn't his main offensive weapon. He had other weapons up his belfry. He had much more to talk about when it came to the weaponry. And it just feels like a diminishment of his characterization by allowing such things. Like, they just really love to disrespect the character. Like MK9, yeah, MK9 wasn't perfect, but they took the bad things about his characterization. The fact that he blatantly told Katana he's not his daughter. The fact that he didn't even come up with the 10,000-year plan. And they destroyed it. They made it worse. They made him much more stupid. Like, I doubt, how is it possible he can rule Outworld for over 5 million years? How is that even possible? It doesn't even make sense anymore. Midway makes sense. This guy, Conquest makes sense. Legends makes sense. Defenders makes sense. MK9 makes sense, more so. Shao and Monks absolutely makes sense. Everyone's so stupid in that game. Makes complete sense. Legacy makes sense. 95 makes sense. MK vs DC also makes sense. But this version of Shao Kahn, no, absolutely not. Annihilation makes less sense. MK1, well, he's not even Shao Kahn anymore. This version of Shao Kahn makes more sense, a little, slightly. But yeah, this is just a depiction. It's the worst depiction he's ever had. It's the worst version of his characterization. And the design just makes it worse. The fact that they changed his origin story. The fact that they nerfed him. They ruined him. And I don't care what people say, oh, Liu Kang, he defeated Liu Kang. It's like, yeah, well, you know what? Midway Shao Kahn defeated Blaze. He defeated Onaga. I don't want to hear it. Conquest won. Legends defeated way more characters than freaking 11. Yeah, I'm fine with him losing to Liu Kang. Liu Kang is a strong, powerful warrior. It's understandable. But 11 ruins the character. He was the first downgrade of the character in existence, and it's really a shame to see. He was the first true downgrade. MK9, not perfect, but he just has a lot more to go off of. With lesser screen time, he just does a lot more. He accomplishes a lot more. 11 accomplished nothing. He goes out like a punk to Shang Tsung, someone who had no chance of defeating him. Just boggles the mind what they were thinking. I'll go into more details in my my NetherRealm Shao Kahn sucks video. But for those who are a fan of him, I'm sorry this video is not for you. MK11 just is, in my mind, as Shao Kahn being my favorite fighting game boss, and overall probably my favorite villain, they just ruined him. They lessened his character. They made him worse. Like, he was one of the best villains in cinema history, in gaming history. Like, really, in my opinion, he's like, Midway is definitely the pinnacle of the best villain in gaming history, and they just diminish him from top tier to a jobber brute. And he becomes even more of a jobber in M1K, MK12. It just leaves a sour taste. Yeah, but to talk more positive now. Midway Shao Kahn, legendary. As always, if you liked this video, please feel free to like and subscribe. If you didn't, thank you for watching anyways. I will be releasing more videos upcoming. I have fixed videos. I have a lot of plans in that. I have Shao Kahn versus videos discussing which realities he can destroy, which characters he can absolutely dominate over. And yeah, we'll get into that. Because Shao Kahn, he's a multiversal threat. He's a very dangerous villain. He has a lot of power. Yes, Liu Kang defeats him, but I'm okay with that. Because as it goes, every good villain has to have someone who can stand up against them. If it wasn't for Liu Kang, Shao Kahn would absolutely dominate. No one would be able to stop him. And the fact that so many people are afraid of Midway Shao Kahn just shows his reverence. Thank you for watching my video, and at the end of the day, this is my opinion. Even though some of it is truly fact. Even though some of it is definitely something much of the community agrees with. Alright, when MK2 comes out, I will be discussing his version of Shao Kahn, and we'll see where he lands on the tier list. I really hope I can put him above 11. I really hope I can put him in a pretty high tier. We'll see. I'm looking forward to that version of him. I will be reviewing every version of Shao Kahn, eventually. I'll be talking about their characterization a little more. I'll be doing more videos on them. Thank you for watching, and please enjoy. God bless you all.